Okay, Assalamualaikum everyone. We are going to chapter 7, which is the second last chapter for this subject. Okay, so we have come to the last part, okay, basically the last part of this topic, which is on the market structure. Okay, so what do we mean by market structure is that we are going to look at how a business can decide on what kind of market they are in, and what are the characteristics of the market that they are involved in. Okay, for example, if you are a producer of t-shirts, for example, which market structure you are related to. Or if you are producing cars, okay, in heavy industry, which market structure you are involved in. Or for example, if you are producing or if you are selling vegetables or any other raw materials like chickens and so on, so you are in actually a different market structure. So depending on what type of products you are producing and who are your how many firms or how many sellers they are in the market. So that is how you differentiate between different market structure available in an economy. So basically we have 4 market structure. We have perfect competition, we have monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. So we are going to look at the characteristics of each of these market structure, and then we are going to look at how do we decide on whether these firms, okay, in this market structure will make profit, and how can they make losses, or how can they get break even, and what is their shutdown point, meaning what is the point in which they have to shut their business in that market. Okay, but first we are going to look at the definition and objectives of a firm. Okay, you have to understand what is a firm and what are their goals. Okay, when they produce a certain product or when they are involved in a certain market, what is their main objective. Okay, so a firm is an institution that buys or hires factors of production. So you still remember we have 4 factors of production in an economy. We have land, okay, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So basically firms will use all these factors of production, okay, or basically what we call as resources, okay, resources that we need in a production, in order for the firms to obtain outputs or products, the final product. So these 4 are very important. Okay, these 4 are what producers need in order for them to produce a certain product, okay, and organizes them to produce and sell goods and services. So you need factors of production. As a firm, you need factors of production, and you also organize them, or you utilize them to produce a certain product. Okay, and a firm is an independent unit of producing goods and services for sale. So they will produce the products and they will sell it to the people in the market or customers in the market. Objective of a firm, okay, the main goal of a firm is of course to maximize profit. When you sell something, of course your intention is you want to get profit, and at the same time you want to minimize your cost of production, okay, as minimum as possible, because in order for you to get maximum profit, you need to manage your costs. You need to make sure that the cost of producing the products is not too high, because when the cost is too high, you cannot get as much profit. Okay, so that is those are the 2 objectives of a firm, which is to maximize profit and minimize the cost. So you have to hold this concept for the whole topic, okay, 7 and topic 8. All right, okay, now okay, we are going to understand about economic profit and accounting profit. So these 2 types of profit are different, meaning in terms of the concept. Okay, so if you still remember in the previous topic, we have learned about explicit cost and implicit cost. Okay, explicit cost and implicit cost. Okay, so what do we mean by explicit cost? Is basically the normal cost that we have to incur when we produce a certain product. For example, when you produce t-shirts, you need to have labor, you need to have the fabric, you need to have the printing machine, you need to have the sewing machine to sew the t-shirt, and then you need to use the electricity. So those are the normal costs that you have to pay, okay, when you want to produce a t-shirt, for example. And implicit cost is basically the cost that you don't really get from the market, or that you don't really obtain by purchasing the inputs. For example, if you have your family members working with you, okay, in producing the t-shirt, for example, you have your brother or your sister helping you with the production, or you use your own house to produce a t-shirt. So that is considered as implicit cost. So the difference between economic profit and accounting profit is basically whether they involve or they include explicit cost and implicit cost or not. Okay, for economic profit, it is defined as total revenue minus the implicit cost. Okay, you still remember to calculate profit, okay, like I have explained in the previous topic. To calculate profit, total revenue you must minus with total cost. That is the basic, the general formula. Okay, so total revenue is basically price times quantity. Now you want to look at the cost. In this case, you want to look at the cost involved in the production. For economic profit, you will include both explicit cost as well as implicit cost. Okay, so in economic concept, we actually have to include all costs involved in the production, including the implicit cost. Okay, but for accounting concept, okay, for you to calculate the profit, the cost that you have to include is only explicit cost, meaning you don't include implicit cost in the calculation of profit from accounting concept. Okay, so when you calculate accounting profit, you don't have to include implicit cost in the calculation. So that is the only difference. So usually the accounting profit will be bigger as compared to economic profit. Okay. Okay, so from the previous topic, I have already covered on the two different types of market, okay, on the last part of the previous topic. Okay, so the two types of market, we have perfect market and imperfect market. So perfect market, okay, is basically where, okay, the firm or the businesses in the market are basically the price takers. Okay, meaning they only accept the price that is set based on the market demand and market supply. Based on market demand and market supply. So based on the equilibrium price in the market. For example, if the equilibrium price in the market is 5 ringgit, so every sellers in the market must sell the product at 5 ringgit. So every sellers set the same price level for the same product. So they don't have control over the price. Control over the price. Okay, so in perfect market, okay, the price of their products will be the same, so their total revenue will be fixed. Okay, so that's why you have this kind of total revenue curve for, you have this kind of total revenue curve for a perfect market. Okay, for a perfect market. And another example or another type of market structure is imperfect market. So if I were to give you the examples of perfect market, is perfect competition, which we will cover in this topic. Imperfect market, we have monopoly, oligopoly, as well as monopolistic competition. Okay, sorry. Okay, so what are the characteristics of imperfect market? Imperfect market are a market which the sellers or the firms are price makers. Basically, they can change the price of their product based on the market demand, okay, or individual demand of the product. So they can basically control their own price. Okay, so that's why when we calculate total revenue for imperfect market, you will have a different total revenue which is increasing like this. Okay, so you have a curvy total revenue as compared to linear total revenue for perfect market. Okay, from the graph. Okay, so now, okay, we are going to determine how these firms from perfect market and imperfect market, how do they decide on the equilibrium level for the market or for the firm. Okay, so deciding on the equilibrium level, you have to look at the main objective of a firm. Okay, just now in the previous slide, I have already told you that the main objective of a firm is to maximize their profit. Okay, so firm's objective is to maximize profit, and another one is to minimize their cost of production. Okay, now for these firms to find equilibrium, okay, we can actually use two approaches, okay, to determine whether these firms are making at equilibrium or not. The first approach is what we call as total approach. Okay, another approach is what we call as marginal approach. So using total approach, how do the firms decide on whether they are at equilibrium or not? So using total approach to decide on equilibrium level is that the difference between total revenue and total cost is the biggest. Okay, meaning the higher the changes or the gap between total revenue and total cost, that is the point, or the higher the profit that they will get. Because you look back at the formula to calculate profit, okay, to calculate profit is total revenue minus total cost. Okay, so if the gap between total revenue and total cost is the biggest, that means your profit is bigger. Okay, so you get higher gap between total revenue and total cost, your profit will increase. Okay, so and then next for marginal approach. Okay, if you are using marginal approach, to get equilibrium is marginal revenue must equal to marginal cost. So this one we are going to look at later in the next slide. So we are going to focus on the first approach, which is total approach. So you look at this slide here. Okay, so we have two examples of graph. One is for perfect market and another one is for imperfect market. So you have different level for total revenue. Total cost is basically the same. Okay, now where is the point that this firm, okay, will get equilibrium? Okay, so if you use total approach, you look at the concept here of total approach is that the gap between total revenue and total cost is the biggest. So if you look at the graph, you have to find the gap between total revenue and total cost that is the biggest. Okay, so this is basically where the point between total revenue and total cost, in the gap here is the biggest as compared to the other points. This is where you get losses. Why? Because total cost, this is total cost, is higher than total revenue. This is also where you get losses. Total cost higher than total revenue. So this is the point or the area where you get profit. Okay, I shade it in yellow. So this is the area of profit. But now you have to look at the main objective of a firm, which is to maximize profit. So where does the firm, okay, in perfect market, maximize their profit? This is the point. Okay, just now. Total revenue minus total cost, which is the biggest. Let's say if I put figures so you can see clearly. Okay, so let's say, okay, the point of total revenue here is 10, okay, 10 ringgit of total revenue, and total cost here is, let's say, 7 ringgit. So the gap here is basically 10 minus 7, which is RM3. So RM3 is basically the biggest profit that this firm can get. That is what we call as equilibrium level, okay, or maximum profit. If I put it here, maximum profit. Okay, that is for perfect market. Now let's look at how firms in imperfect market decides on their equilibrium level or maximum profit. Okay. Okay, so let's say if you look at this graph here, you have total cost and total revenue, okay, which is curvy like this. And if you look at the total approach here, okay, if you use total approach to get equilibrium or to get maximum profit, is the gap between total revenue and total cost is the highest or the biggest. So this graph, in this graph, the gap between total revenue, this is total revenue, and this is total cost. This is the gap where total revenue and between total revenue and total cost, which is the biggest. Okay, so let's say this is the total revenue, which is 20, for example, and this is the total cost, which is 12. So the gap between total revenue and total cost, which is basically the profit. Okay, total revenue is 20, total cost is 12. So the profit here is RM8. So that is basically the equilibrium level, or what we call as maximum profit. Okay, so M here shows the quantity that the firm, the quantity of product that the firm must produce to get equilibrium. Let's say if N is equal to 15, meaning the firms must produce 15 units of product to get maximum profit or to get equilibrium in the market. Okay, so that is what we mean by calculating or determining the equilibrium using total approach. Okay, now let's look at how you can use marginal approach to determine on equilibrium level or maximum profit of a firm in a certain market. Okay, so using marginal approach just now, okay, we understand that marginal revenue must equal to marginal cost. Okay, so if you look at this graph here that we have for perfect market and imperfect market, okay. Okay, so you have, this one is for perfect market, this one is for imperfect market. So you can see the difference between the difference on the marginal revenue between perfect market and imperfect market. This is actually from the previous topic, okay, the last part, which is on the revenue part. So for perfect market, okay, the marginal revenue is equal to average revenue, which is basically equals to the price. Okay, if the price is 5 ringgit, the marginal revenue will be 5 ringgit, average revenue will also be 5 ringgit. Okay, because perfect market, look back at the characteristics of perfect market, the firms in a perfect market are price takers. So they will take 5 ringgit as the equilibrium price for the market. But for imperfect market, the marginal revenue curve is differentiated from the average revenue curve. Average revenue is basically equals to price lah. Okay, because average revenue, okay, I repeat again, this one is actually from the previous topic as well. Average revenue is the change in total revenue divided with the change in, the total revenue, okay, total revenue divide with the quantity. And total revenue, to calculate total revenue is price times quantity. Then you divide with quantity. So this one cancel off, you get the price. So if you still remember this one, okay, average revenue is actually equals to price. Okay, so that's why here, okay, average revenue basically indicates the price level. Okay, now let's look at the condition here. Look back at the condition of getting equilibrium, which is MR equals to MC. So in this graph here, MR is here, MC is here, and the intersection here, okay, between the blue curve and the red curve is basically where MR equals to MC. Okay, so this is the point of equilibrium. Okay, so this is the equilibrium price, basically the equilibrium price, and this is the equilibrium quantity, meaning the firm in the perfect market must sell at this quantity and this price level for them to get equilibrium or maximum profit. Okay, meanwhile, for imperfect market, okay, you have average revenue is higher than marginal revenue curve. Okay, so marginal revenue is this one, marginal cost is this one, the red curve here. Okay, so the condition for equilibrium using marginal approach is MR equals to MC. So MR equals to MC is here. This is where MR, okay, so this is where MR equals to MC. Okay, this point here. But if you drag from this point here, this is marginal revenue. Okay, it doesn't indicate the price level. So to indicate the price level at equilibrium is you have to bring from this point, you have to bring upward until you touch the average revenue curve, which is this one. This is average revenue curve. Okay, which average revenue is equal to price. So you from this point onward, you have to drag to the left, so you will get the price. Okay, so this is the equilibrium price and this is the equilibrium quantity. Okay, so price times quantity, okay, the boxes here, okay, the boxes here basically indicates the total revenue. Okay, this is the area of total revenue. Okay, because total revenue is price times quantity. So the yellow shaded area here indicates your total revenue. Okay. Alright, so let's go to the next part of this topic, which is on the market structure. Okay, so now before we go to the market structure, let me define what do we mean by market. Okay, just now we have understand what do we mean by firm, okay, which is a business or a medium where inputs are, or the factors of production are transformed into outputs, or inputs are transformed into outputs. Okay, so that is the main function of a firm, and their objective is to gain maximum profit and minimum cost. Okay, now we are going to understand about market. Okay, so market is a medium where there will be a transaction of buying and selling of goods, tangible goods, as well as services, and also factors of production or future commitment. Factor of production means the inputs or the resources used in a production. Future commitment meaning in terms of the payment, deferred payment, and so on. Okay, a market is a place where buyers and sellers meet with one another involving transaction. So they will incur all these transaction, especially buying and selling transaction in a market. Okay, so since we have different types of products, we have different numbers of sellers for a certain type of products. So that's why we have different market structure. So if you are producing a certain type of product, you need to understand in what market structure you are involved in. Okay, so what do we mean by market structure? Okay, it refers to the number and distribution size of buyers and sellers in a market of goods and services. Okay, so to understand about market structure, we are going to look at the differences. Okay, market structure. We are going to look at the differences in terms of the number of sellers or or firms. Okay, buyers and sellers. Okay, buyers tak apa, we don't want to focus on buyers. We want to focus on the number of firms, okay, in the market structure. Their market shares. Okay, market shares or market size. Okay, usually if you have too much sellers in that one particular market, your market share will be smaller. But if there are only few firms in that market, okay, usually your market share will be bigger because there are not much competition in the market. That is what we mean by market share. The degree of product standardization, okay, types of product, whether the firms in the market are selling the same type of products or do they produce different types of product. Okay, and then the ease of market entry and exit. Market entry and exit, meaning is it easy for other firms to enter the market? Is it easy for you to start a business in that particular market, or is it hard? Okay, for example, if let's say if you are in a perfect competition market, okay, usually perfect competition market is where there are a lot of number of sellers selling basically the same type of product. Okay, like for example, vegetables. Okay, so usually for perfect competition market, the sellers are small sellers or small firms. So we can assume that to enter this kind of market, it is easy or easier. Okay, because you can sell the same type of product, the cost is not too high, you don't need too much capital, as compared to if you want to enter, for example, heavy industry market, for example, car manufacturers. If you want to open a company or to open a business or car manufacturing company, okay, you need too high capital. Okay, you need a huge number of capital, and you also need a lot of workers. Okay, the size of the firm must be big. Okay, because you are involved in large scale production. So that's why in order for you to enter this kind of market, it is hard. Okay, it is not easy for you to enter this kind of market. So that is what we mean by market entry and exit. Okay, so now let's look at the four types of market structure that we have here. The first one is perfect competition. Okay, so in terms of number of sellers, okay, perfect competition, they have large number of buyers and sellers. Large number of buyers and sellers. Okay, they are selling identical product ataupun homogeneous product. Okay, homogeneous mean identical. Their products are basically the same and consumers cannot differentiate their product. Okay, there is no restriction of entry and exit, meaning it's easy for you to enter the market or exit from the market. And the sellers, they have perfect knowledge of the market. Okay, meaning they know the price that they have to set for the product that they sell, and they know what price that are set by other sellers. Okay, how many sellers they are in the market. So the knowledge about the market is perfect, okay, among the sellers. They know everything about the market and so on. Okay, so that is perfect competition in general. Later on, I'm going to look at the characteristics in detail. Okay, so what is an example of perfect competition market? If you can think of a perfect competition, large number of sellers, look at the characteristic, look, large number of sellers, same products, okay, they sell the same products, easy to enter, and the sellers have knowledge about the market. Okay, it's easy for them to get information about the market. So an example of perfect competition is like when you go to wet market, okay, or when you go to pasar. Okay, in Malaysia we have pasar, market lah, basically market, where they are selling vegetables, they are selling fishes, chickens, and any other raw materials, okay, or raw products. Okay, so this kind of market or this kind of sellers, okay, for example, sellers of vegetables or fruits. Okay, so let's say you are seller A, and then we have seller B and seller C. Okay, seller A, B, and C. So seller A, B, and C, three of them are basically selling the same thing. Let's say they are selling apples. Okay, seller B is also selling apples. Seller C is also selling apples. Consumer cannot differentiate between the three types of products here because these three types of products are basically the same. Okay, assuming that they are selling the same type of apple with the same quality lah. Okay, because they get it from the same supplier. Okay, so these sellers, they are selling the same product, therefore they have to impose the same price. Okay, so if they sell apples RM 8 ringgit per kg, okay, so everyone must sell the apple at the price of RM 8 ringgit per kg. Okay, so we have a lot of sellers, meaning everyone can sell apples. Even you yourself can sell apples. It's easy for us to get into this kind of market or to be involved into this kind of market. So we have a lot of sellers selling the same product, imposing the same price. Okay, and it's easy for other people to enter the market or exit from the market. Okay, so this is example of perfect competition. Okay, sellers of vegetables, sellers of fruits, or fishes, or chickens, or any other seafood and so on. Okay, so that is perfect competition. Okay, and then we have monopoly. Okay, monopoly is a market where there is only a single seller. The word mono here means single. Okay, and the seller is a large seller, meaning a big seller, big firm. Okay, and then large number of buyers. Okay, we are not going to look at the number of buyers because usually you will have the same number of buyers in every market. Okay, selling products that has no close substitution, no substitute for the product, meaning the seller itself is selling the product. There are no other firms that sell the same type of product as this seller. Okay, so this is the only seller that sell the same, that sell this kind of product. Has high entry and exit barrier. Barrier ni maksudnya halangan lah. Okay, so high restriction. If you want to enter a monopoly market, it is hard. Okay, it is not easy. Okay, because there will be certain reasons lah. Later on, we are going to look at why it is hard for other firms to enter monopoly market. Okay, so examples of monopoly. For the case of Malaysia, we actually have the closest example, which is TNB, okay, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, which is the only energy producer or electric producer or supplier in Peninsula Malaysia. Okay, so there are no other energy supplier, okay, other than TNB. So we can consider TNB as a monopoly in that particular market. Okay, single seller, Okay, single seller, and the product that they produce has no close substitution. Okay, there are no other or different types of electricity. There is only one electricity supply coming from single supplier, which is TNB. And it is hard to find or for other firms, okay, to enter this kind of market structure. Okay, it is hard for other firms to produce electricity or supply electricity as well. Okay, so basically TNB dominates this kind of product or service. Okay, energy service, energy provider service. Okay, and then we have monopolistic competition. Okay, where there are large number of sellers. Okay, large number of sellers, and then selling differentiated products. Okay, due to branding and labeling, and there are no barriers to entry and exit. Okay, let's look at the characteristics one by one. Okay, large number of sellers meaning there are a lot of firms, okay, that can sell products in this kind of market structure. The products that they sell in monopolistic competition are differentiated products due to branding and labeling, meaning they basically sell the same types of products, but the products can be differentiated by customers depending on the brand or label that they put on their products. Let's say, for example, if you have toothpaste. Okay, you have toothpaste. Okay, toothpaste. So you have toothpaste sold by seller A, seller B, as well as seller C. Okay, so the three sellers here basically sell the same product, which is toothpaste, but customers can differentiate the toothpaste sold by these three sellers by looking at the brand that we put on the toothpaste. For example, seller A is selling a brand, let's say Colgate. Okay, seller B sell toothpaste from the brand Darlie, and another one is let's say Sensodyne. These are the only three toothpaste brands that I know. Okay, so I'm going to use these as examples. Okay, so what we can see here is they sell the same products, okay, toothpaste, but they can put different brand on the product. Okay, and consumers can differentiate, and they can also put different price, okay, for their product, okay, depending on the branding, okay, and labeling. Alright, so their products can actually be differentiated in terms of brand, in terms of the price, as well as in terms of the quality. Maybe toothpaste from seller A has higher or better quality as compared to toothpaste from seller B. Example, okay, not stating the truth, but example. Okay, so those are the kind of characteristics that customers can look at to differentiate the products from the different sellers. Okay, and then let's look at the other characteristics, which is no barriers to entry and exit. Okay, meaning it's easy for other firms to enter the market, meaning if you want to be seller D, you want to enter this market, you can be seller D. You can also sell toothpaste, and you can also put your own brand, let's say brand Y. Okay, so you basically sell the same product with different brand, probably with different quality and different price. Okay, so it's easy for you as long as you have the needed capital and so on lah. Okay, alright, so that is monopolistic competition. Okay, and then you can and also you can find a lot of examples of monopolistic competition in supermarket. You go to supermarket, you can find you can find same types of product with different brands. Okay, like noodles or flour or sugar, cooking oil, Okay, those are examples of monopolistic competition market. Okay, and then you have the last one, which is oligopoly. Okay, so in oligopoly is a market where there are only few firms, not so many firms in the industry. Okay, and products can be either identical or differentiated, and they are barriers to entry and exit. Okay, oligopoly is a different type of market structure. Okay, where there are only a few firms, meaning not so many sellers, not so many firms in this market structure. They are selling either identical or differentiated product. Okay, they can sell same product as the other firms. They can also sell different type of products as the other firms, and it's quite hard for other firms to enter the market and exit from the market. An example of oligopoly is, let's say, car manufacturers. Okay, in Malaysia, for example, you can only find a few types of car manufacturers, local car manufacturers. In Malaysia itself, we only have two types of car producers, which is Pro2, and then we have also Proton. Okay, that is local brands. But we have a lot of manufacturers as well. We have in Pekan, where I'm staying right now, we have this manufacturing area, car manufacturing area. So we have Isuzu, we have DevTech, okay, we have DRB Highcon and so on. So these kind of manufacturers are basically selling large scale products. Okay, production. They are involved in large scale production. Okay, which is car, meaning they don't sell as much cars, and they need high capital. Okay, high number of capital to start a business or to start a firm in this oligopoly market. So that's why it's hard for other firms to enter the market. Okay, if you want to become a car manufacturing, you need a lot of capital to start the business in this kind of market structure. Okay,